Hello and welcome back to my channel, Thrifty Day. On today's episode, I'm partnering with Your Creative Studio. Your Creative Studio sent me their beautiful October subscription box, and it is themed Fairies. The contents of this box are absolutely gorgeous. Everything from stickers to paper to labels, tags, notepads, memo pads, wooden stamps, cling stamps, washi tape, you name it, and it is in this box. I love the Your Creative Studio subscription boxes because I really think they're a wonderful way to build your ephemera collection. This particular box was very inspiring to me, and I'm so excited to show you a layout that I created using many of these products. I especially love the vintage theme to these boxes. I think they really fit my journaling style and really help me tell the story of what I'm trying to convey on a layout, because the products of this box are already so vintage and unique and just have a very nostalgic feel. So if you love to journal creatively, or if you make cards or labels, or if you're a tag maker, or just anyone who loves to paper craft in general, I would highly recommend heading over to the Your Creative Studio website and seeing if the subscription boxes are a good fit for you. I always have so much fun opening these boxes. It's like a little present to myself. So I have linked all of the Your Creative Studio information below. You can tap on the link and it'll take you straight to their Instagram and their website. So be sure to let me know what you think about this particular subscription box in the comments below. I was very inspired the moment I opened this box and saw that the theme was fairies, because my favorite Broadway musical is Finding Neverland. And there's a line that always makes me feel so nostalgic and emotional when I hear it. And the line is, "If you believe, clap your hands." And they use it when referring to Tink. So be sure to stick around and watch me create a layout using many of these products from Your Creative Studio. And thank you so much, Your Creative Studio, for sending this box of goodies my way. Let's get into the layout. So I was very excited to get started on this layout. I have lots of ephemera, and it's all from yesterday. Oh my gosh, this weekend was such a whirlwind. It was my daughter's 16th birthday, and so I feel like we just had plans every single day, but kind of the last party or hurrah was taking her to Disneyland for her birthday, and she stayed there with her friend, and we spent some time together. And so I have lots of ephemera. I have our tickets, a really sweet envelope, a great photo, and of course this Time magazine that I have used for a few different layouts in this journal. So I chose this particular page from the magazine because I like that it showed part of the castle. I love the muted colors, and I also know that I wanted to put the words over it that I want to kind of be the theme for this page. So I'm just going to take that whole magazine page and glue it right down onto one side of the layout. Then I'm just going to use my scraper to make sure it's on nice and secure. Magazine pages go on pretty easy, but I still like to make sure that there's no wrinkles or anything like that. And then when I saw these beautiful pages that came in the Your Creative Studio subscription box, I knew that I wanted to use them all. They are so beautiful. And so I think I'm just going to use all 4 of these ones. I'm just going to use my glue stick, and I'm going to put all of them down onto the other side. So it sort of looks a bit like a very large collage. And to do it is very simple. I'm just going to layer all of them. There's no rhyme or reason. I'm just going to make sure I use a lot of glue sticks so that they stay down. And I love that the patterns don't really match. I think that sort of eclectic look was exactly what I was going for. So I just use all 4 of those sheets. I glue them down. I make sure they're secure, and the look at the end is exactly what I was going for. I love the colors. I love that very sort of boho vintage look. And so yeah, I feel like I have a really great base now to begin my layout. So this is a picture of the castle, and it was actually in a wall collage that was in my daughter's room. So it's something I've had just sort of floating around my desk for a while. And then I want to choose one of my favorite photos from the day yesterday. So this is Abby and her best friend. And her best friend's birthday was just a few days ago also. So they have birthdays really close to each other. So it was really fun to take them both to the parks and let them have a really great time to celebrate their birthdays. And I'm just going to use this little gold frame. It kind of looks like a Polaroid frame. And I'm just going to stick it on there because it had a sticky back, and then trim around it so it looks like a gold Polaroid picture. I kind of really love the way that look. It's vintage, but also kind of fits the narrative of the layout. And one of my favorite pieces of ephemera is this little Disneyland envelope with Tinkerbell. I don't know if any of you remember, but this is actually what they used to give you your Disneyland tickets in, were these little envelopes. So I actually am not even sure where I got this from, but I have several of them now. And so I'm finally able to use one on a page. So I just trim it down a little bit because I know that I want to put our tickets from the day in there, because I have vivid memories of being a kid and my dad bringing home these envelopes and our tickets were in there. So that's a really nice memory for me. And so to put it on the page is really nostalgic and sweet. Now that I have the basic idea of the page, what I want to do is put that quote on to the other side. So I'm just going to use the tissue that came out of the Your Creative Studio box. I'm going to use the blank side, and I'm going to use my letter stamps to type the quote right onto that paper. And so the quote is, "If you believe, clap your hands." And in the musical Finding Neverland, which is all about how the book Peter Pan was written, this is actually obviously in regards to Tinkerbell and when she sacrifices her life for Peter Pan by drinking poison. But then all of the children clap their hands because if you believe in fairies, then she'll live. So enough children clap their hands that Tink gets to live. And so it's just a wonderful reminder to believe in wonderful, happy things. So I love that quote. That part of the musical always makes me feel and become very emotional. And so I wanted to put that quote onto the page because Tinkerbell is a fairy and the theme for the subscription box was fairies. And another really sweet little part of this layout is that Abby's friends at school actually call her Tink. So it all kind of connects, and it's my favorite Broadway musical. I just love fairies. So it made me sort of think of all those things, and in my mind, that's how I tied it all together. So all I am doing now is ripping out those words individually so that I can glue them onto the page. And once I have all my words together, I decide that I want to get out my Tim Holtz Distress ink, and I just use a blotter and go around the ends. And the reason I do that is because it will actually make that pop a little bit more because they'll have a frame around them. So if you just put a little bit of distress ink around them, it kind of just makes them pop off your page a little bit more. It's just a quick little step, but I find that it adds a lot of character when you're doing sort of a collage page. So I'm just using Tim Holtz ink and a blotter. And now that all my words are completely done, I can bring my journal back and begin to arrange them on that castle side of the layout. And the best part of this, using the Your Creative Studio packaging, is that's tissue paper, but it's like not quite as thick as paper, and it's not as thin as tissue paper. So it's a really great medium to work with, especially for collaging. On many times I've used the other pretty printed side, but today I used it for my stamping, and I just glue them right onto the page. So now that the layout has really taken shape, I'm kind of trying to decide what else I'm going to add. I know I want to add that really pretty little fairy tag because it's a perfect way to just put the title of what I feel the layout is on. And so I'm just going to use my glue and kind of cover that writing that was on the magazine page. And then I also decide that since I don't have a lot of room for journaling on this page, I'm actually going to use these really pretty printed fairy sheets of paper. And I'm going to create a pocket so that I can do my journaling directly onto those little fairy pages. So you've seen me make pockets lots of times, but I'll walk you through it in case you're new to the channel. I just put double stick tape on 3 sides of whatever I am creating the pocket out of. This happens to be a photograph. and then you just stick it right onto your page and you have an instant pocket. I use that really strong double stick tape, but sometimes I'll even add a staple to make sure that that pocket doesn't go anywhere. So I just stuck those pages right in the pocket, and I'll do my journaling off camera. Now it's time to stick my favorite piece of ephemera down onto the layout, that Tinkerbell vintage envelope. And I'm just going to use a stapler, and I'm actually going to staple in the middle so that those tickets don't fall all the way down into that deep envelope. They'll just stay right there at the end so I can easily take them in and out anytime I want to. So that's a fun little journaling trick. If you don't want your items to fall deep into the pocket, you just sort of staple it right in the middle, and that staple will act as a barrier and not allow those little pieces of ephemera to go too far down into pockets. After I stick that gold Polaroid down onto the page, I realize I need to put some tape down the center, otherwise it's going to start to lift. So I use some really pretty clear printed packing tape and put it right down the center. It's floral, it's so pretty. It's one I haven't used in a while, so it was nice to bring it out again. Now the fun part, I'm just going to add some finishing touches. I'm going to add that Your Creative Studio card right into that envelope. I'm also going to add some of these beautiful fairy stickers that came in the subscription box. They're so incredibly gorgeous. The colors, their faces, the tones. I loved everything in this box, and these stickers were a stunner, so I knew I needed to use those. And the next stickers I'm going to add are just the really cute little sort of retro gold foil stickers. You know I am a sucker for those little tin stickers. So I'm just going to use all of the gold ones and stick them all over the words. I feel like it gives a little fairy theme, and it's also kind of retro. And these little gold stickers are nostalgic for me. I've told you before, but I mean, this is like something that every teacher used in the 80s. So if you were an 80s kid, I think these stars maybe are a little more nostalgic for you. I just love them. They bring me right back to grade school. So I stuck them all over the page, and I really loved it. And my good friend Diane actually gave me these Tim Holtz little word stickers, and they're in gold. So I thought they were perfect. I picked a few that were appropriate for the day and added them to the layout. I also remembered that there were some really beautiful vellum stickers in the Your Creative Studio box, and so I wanted to find one that looked a bit like kind of old-fashioned medieval castle-y writing, just to kind of add over that label, and I think I found the perfect one. And the really great part about these stickers is that they are made of vellum, so you can actually kind of see through them. So picking one was really easy and quite fun, and I just picked one that's kind of a rectangle, and I just stick it right onto the page, kind of over the label, to give another little bit of a collaging effect. Now this next and I think last piece of ephemera is from a former subscription box from Your Creative Studio. I was going through this little ticket pad, and there's a Disneyland one. So, oh my goodness, I was so excited. I knew it needed to go in this layout, so I took it out. I just used my glue stick and put it right there onto the page, and it was the perfect finishing touch, and also Your Creative Studio. So these are my finished pages. I had such a wonderful time creating these pages. I loved celebrating Abby. Her and I have so many happy memories at Disneyland. So seeing her there so happy with her best friend just truly made my heart sing. She will always be my little Tink, and I was so happy to journal about it and just really kind of pour my heart out into this page. And I think this page also kind of reflects Abby's style, and that made me happy too, because every time I see it, I'll be able to think about her 16th birthday. So thank you so much for following along, and thank you so much, Your Creative Studio, for sending me this box. Bye.